This Pilgrim Life. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very important summertime recipe, and that is fresh salsa. I have been making this salsa for years. I haven't bought jarred salsa consistently for a very long time because this salsa is so easy to make and it's incredibly delicious. My kids love it, and it is always just a really quick 10-minute prep. We have it very often, and so I'm going to show you how to make it today. Now, I am going to be using 2 pounds of cherry tomatoes. This is a tomato package that I get from Costco. However, if you have a garden this summer, this salsa is even better with garden fresh tomatoes. Of course, everything is better when you grow it yourself or if you pick up tomatoes at your farmer's market. So just know if you can get even fresher tomatoes, then that'll be better. I like using cherry tomatoes because the end result is a lot less runny, a little bit more chunky, and I feel like you get a little bit more salsa for what you use. And so I'm using 2 pounds of cherry tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and add these straight into my food processor. And the great thing about cherry tomatoes also is that there's very little prep. I don't have to do anything. Of course, if you were using garden fresh tomatoes or something like that, you might want to rinse them off, but I just add everything right in. Now, in addition to the cherry tomatoes, I'm going to be using 1 sweet bell pepper, and I use a variety of colors. Really, it's just whatever you have on hand. I like using an orange or a yellow one because you end up with a more colorful end result. So if you have orange or yellow, then you can toss that right in. Now, all I'm going to do is just kind of quarter the pepper. I don't need to chop it up much because that's what the food processor is going to do for me. So I'm just cutting this into pieces that are about 2 inches wide and adding those straight to my food processor. Now, the other ingredient is going to be a yellow onion. You can use a sweet onion if you like. I typically just have regular yellow onions on hand, so that's what I use. You want to use roughly 1 small to medium onion, and if you like less onion or if you like more onion, then of course you can adjust that according to your preference. So again, just like with the pepper, I don't have to cut it up much. I'm just going to kind of cut it into quarters and remove the hard center, and then just cut it into quarters. And then that way everything, if you cut things into uniform pieces, then when you chop it, everything is going to end up more uniform as well. You won't end up with some of your salsa mixture pureed and some chunked. So you do want to start with roughly uniform size pieces. Now, the final ingredient that I'm going to add before I start mixing this up is 2 garlic cloves, and I have here just some freshly peeled garlic, and I'm going to add that right into my food processor. And technically, you don't have to mince those first, but I just went ahead and did that anyway. So you could just add it and let the food processor chop that. So either way you want to do it. Now, put the lid on, and then this next part is another instance of personal preference. So if you like your salsa really chunky, then chop it up less. If you like it really runny, then of course you can chop it up more. We like it somewhere right in between. So I'm just going to pulse this until my tomatoes are the right consistency. So I think that is just about done. And the great thing, okay, so now that everything is chopped, we're going to strain it. I like to get some of those juices out of the way so that we end up with a more chunky and less runny salsa. So I'm just going to use this little strainer basket right here, and I'm just going to pour it right in. So usually I would do this over the sink, but I'm just using a bowl to catch some of those juices. I'm not going to strain it all the way, but I do want probably about 60% of those juices to be out. So you can also keep in mind that your tomatoes will give off a little bit more juices as they rest. So if you feel like you're getting rid of too much, just know that it will get juicier too as the tomatoes sit. So that looks like it's about 2 cups of liquid that I'm pouring off. So now I'm just going to transfer it to a mixing bowl and add in the final ingredients, and my salsa will be finished. Okay, so I just transferred all of that into a smaller mixing bowl, and I'm going to add the last ingredients. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then about 1 teaspoon of freshly ground cumin. And if you have the option of grinding your cumin fresh, it does make a big difference. So using fresh spices and herbs really will give you a much tastier end result. And then the final ingredient is 2 teaspoons of oregano. And now my salsa is done and ready to be enjoyed. I'm going to store this in the refrigerator. It'll keep for about 2 weeks, but usually we go through it much quicker than that. Oops. Now you can find this recipe at thispilgrimlife.com. You can find a link down below in the video description, as well as links to any of the products that I was using. Do also check out the last video that I shared was for 1-minute guacamole, so of course that would be perfect with this fresh salsa. And like I mentioned before, the fresher the ingredients, the better. So if you're growing these items in your garden, then your salsa will be fabulous. Otherwise, you can try to pick them up at the farmer's market or do what I do, which is often just get what I need from Costco, because that is super easy to do. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, then consider subscribing. Hit that bell button so you will see when I share new videos, and I hope that you have a great day.